Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel Awaken Life 888. It is so good to be back with everybody once again. Today, my message is going to be talking about taking the sides of your traumatizers. You know, when you are a child, all of these mechanisms have been put in place by your child self. And you did the going along to get along because oftentimes you lived in the same spaces as the very people that traumatized you. And you develop mechanisms of coping. As an adult, and as you begin your healing journey, those coping mechanisms are no longer going to be functioning for you because now you're getting more into the bigger roles of people pleasing, and you're doing a lot of suffering on the inside because a lot of times the things that you're doing, you're giving your power away and you're being depleted and no one is filling your cup up. And what you will discover on your healing journey is that you were most likely born into a narcissistic, toxic, unhealthy family dynamic. And because of this, you have had to fight. You've had to be strong. But now that you're an adult, you don't have to be strong with those types of coping mechanisms anymore. You don't have to give two hoots about your abusers anymore. You know, God is causing a great separation. Everything that was done in the dark is appearing in the light. It is all coming into view. We see this with our political system. We see this in the religion arenas. And you're just seeing all of these different systems that once held such great power fall. And most of them are falling because a lot of them were corrupt to begin with. A lot of people have been ciphering people's energy, telling them things about themselves that are not true. A lot of people were set up in their own families for failure. People made pacts in your family to turn against you, to never be for you. And that has all been done to you on purpose. The trick in that you got to know is that that's a trick. It's a trick to get you just down on their level, because that's where they can deal with you. In failure, in fear, in destruction, in chaos, in alcoholism, in drugs, being sexually out here, just giving your body to anybody. This is the arena. This is what they want you to believe. And if you're anything like me, that's where you dwelt at one time. You were down there, but you decided that down there just didn't feel comfortable for you. So you had to elevate. You had to elevate and move on beyond sight, beyond reach, unapologetically. This is what your traumatizers, your abusers, they don't want you to move on. They want you to continue to believe that somehow everything was okay. And your whole life screams, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You were a child, a child. And that's another thing on this journey that was, I guess, not really, I can't call it surprising, but it was disheartening to know that there are so many adults that could care less about children being molested. And if you made it through all of that and you decide to speak out on exactly what happened to you, the hate and the pushback that you get from loved ones about your traumatic experience within this family dynamic. Whenever you have ever tried, I know for me, anytime I ever tried to make sense with other family members of what I was experiencing, the door was closed in my face. Nothing was said. And, that was very hurtful. That was very hurtful. But as I heal, I understand now that all of those things had to happen and they had to happen to me. They didn't happen to everybody, because what abusers do is they do an open display of love for others, and they show other people such admiration that when you begin to talk and you begin to share your story, it's very difficult for others to believe you. And don't forget, people have already been given a narrative about you. Only a few people will begin to see and unravel the truth for themselves. But that is nothing that you can stand around and wait for. Don't stand around and wait to be validated. I know you want it. I know it. Can somebody just believe me? Can somebody see? It may not happen. It may not happen. And that, going through all of that, that's all making you strong, because it's not going to happen. And it's the people that you thought that you helped and you loved them and all that good stuff. It's just not going to happen. It's not in the cards. This is a journey that you may be walking alone. And yeah, you'll be with others, but it is ultimately a lone journey. Alone, because of the depth of vision that you have, the depth of know how to get to the emotional depth. You see beyond. So it's going to be a lonely journey. A lot of people will be afraid of you because of your ability to see through them. And you can run, but you will never be able to hide. And do you want to go back? Do you want to go back? God has brought us all way too far along down the line. There's no going back. People would love for you to come back. And the only reason why they want you to come back, if they want you to come back, is so that they can finish destroying you. So that they can finish letting you know that you cannot live without them. That you are nothing without their forces. And normally these are groups because they are weak on their own. They have to be in the group mentality to feel, if they feel anything, it's got to be in the group. So don't feel bad because you have never been included. If you look back, I know for me, I was never included. I've always stood alone, and I've always had people say the most craziest things about me. I had to grow an extra coat of skin because it was hurtful back then to believe that I had went through some very tough and challenging times in my household, only to become an adult to be viewed in a derogatory way. But looking back at the people that I thought that mattered to, it doesn't matter anymore because now I see much better. My lenses are totally cleansed. Just like people see me, I see them unapologetically. And this is the scope, the coat and the way, you get to protect yourself because you come too far. You come too far. You know that these people try to destroy you. I know for me, a family member had me set up. Yeah. And I kept trying to put on the rose-colored glasses that it wasn't so bad. I wanted to hang in there with the people that had traumatized me, stolen my essence, shaped and molded me into a little robot. And then I wanted somehow to try to cling onto it. I did not want to make the big girl decision. And to see, it was hard. But as I embraced myself and began to love on myself, and I began to respect myself, what I ate, what I read, what I was listening to, the places I was going. As I began to incorporate so many different things in my life, my lenses changed. I no longer wanted to be around the people that molested me as a child. I no longer wanted to be involved with people that saw good in them but saw nothing for me. I began to respect myself. I went home a few weeks ago to look back on my childhood home. And finally, the things that had been going on for decades inside had leaked onto the outside. And at that moment, when I saw that place, I was freed. I knew I'd made it. Not 100%. That's a construct. But I made it past that. All that wickedness. And I called my power back. And I released everything that had been put into me. The doubt, the fear, all the harsh words, all the damage that was done. I released it. I let it go because it was heavy. It had been heavy for decades. I chased and ran hard for the people that traumatized me. Everybody that ever died in my family, it was something horrible behind it. I needed closure, guys. I needed to really face what had happened to me. I really needed to come to grips that my family, they made an agreement, obviously, a long time ago, never to support me, never to love me, never to be there for me, only to give me a sad story, an illusion that I was a failure, that because I had kids, I was never gonna make it. Because my husband didn't want me, I was nothing. They wanted me to lay there and stay there. But I kept rising. I kept going. And no, I didn't go to school. And no, I didn't go and rise to become some grand CEO of a company. I rose in love for myself, respect for myself, knowing that a better life was somehow going to get a hold of me. I knew it. And that thing happened for me just like that. So I want to encourage you today to continue to believe in yourself against all of your odds. You're going to make it. Find the higher points inside of yourself. Think higher. Do better. Don't be involved in mess. Don't do things behind people's backs to try to make their lives miserable, because it's going to come back. It's going to come back on you 10,000 fold when you operate in life like that. I'm watching people that were once held at the top fall. Boom. All because they lived that life. They brought others down. Didn't mind maneuvering and messing up people's minds. Thought it was funny. Oh, yes. Thought being wicked was funny. Thought being in the midst and doing things behind people's backs that were wicked was funny. Putting word curses on people, funny. Some of you guys right now, Spirit is leading me to say this. Some of y'all can't lose weight right now because you got a word curse over your life. Spoken over you by your own mother, your own sisters, your aunties. You can't lose weight. Take a cleansing bath. Speak life over yourself. Break these curses, because just because you don't know about the energies don't mean that they're not happening. People aren't practicing different things on you spiritually. That was another surprising aspect to all of this. The amount of witchcraft that people practiced, because they always gave an illusion that they were in deep Christians. You know, the real deep ones with the long garments and the head wraps, some of them. Witches. Witches. Yes. So be careful. Be careful around your abusers. Be careful around people that saw you be abused. They're waiting for you to stand up for yourself. And when you do that, they're going to run away from you, because now they know you are awakened. They saw what happened to you when you was a child. Break the cycle. Stand up for yourself. You are no longer bound by the childhood trauma. You're not a child anymore. People can no longer sling all that mud your way. You're speaking out about this injustice, and you are speaking out because it's time. You have been awakened. You have been activated to stop the pursuit of the validation of the people that hurt you. Get away from them. In 3 weeks, you will begin to breathe better. You will begin to think more highly of yourself, and you will begin to be able to develop one little healthy habit after another. Next thing you know, you flying and you don't never want to even look back, let alone go back. Stop chasing these nightmares on Elm Street. Leave all of it behind. and grow into the real authentic person that God designed and made you to be today. God made you a good person, but you had to go through the fire. And we all go through it. And it's sad that you got to go through it. I don't know a lot of people that have had perfect childhoods, but I met a lot of people that weren't molested in their childhoods, touched on by different family members, talked down to like they're nothing. I met a lot of people that their families loved them, cherished them, would never even imagine to do anything as horrible like that to their loved one. And if that did happen to their loved one, they had a heart to feel for their loved one. Not just brush it under the rug like and look at the loved one like, oh, well, you look all right to me. That's the insensitiveness. But I've realized a lot of people weren't born with empathy, compassion. We be running around thinking, that people are just like us, and they're not. Some people they don't have any love. I know somebody right now, they don't have any love. They don't have any empathy. They don't have any compassion for others. And they stay at the doctor's office. They only think about themselves and their illnesses. Those are what you call energy vampires. Stay clear of them as well. Especially the ones that continuously go and harm their own selves. And then they get sick and then they feel bad for weeks now on end. And energy vampire. Energy vampire. And remember this as well. If people can't see any good in themselves, like they don't have any higher morals for themselves, they don't have it for you either. And once you come into those types of realizations, it's easier to walk away from that chaos and find peace within your own life, within. All right, guys, I appreciate you all listening. This is, I know, a long video, but my videos, as I'm getting more and more comfortable in front of the camera, and YouTubers know, this is this is a process. Getting in front of the camera, talking, coming up with topics, getting all the downloads for yourself in the midst of doing, your healing work. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And it's, a beautiful journey because it's causing, I know for me to be, just share it, more authentic, and I used to, in the early days, I was like, well, I'm not dressed this and that. And now I'm just like, well, I see where I'm getting a little bit more lengthy. I'm talking more. So I'm already at 24 minutes. So I'm going to let y'all go. I appreciate y'all for listening. If you got anything to add a comment at the bottom. Let me know what you think. And I will see you guys back in my next one. Bye.